Military commanders have been assessing the results of a second night of Allied strikes against Libya, in which the RAF turned away from their assigned targets. A building in Colonel Gaddafi's compound in Tripoli was among the targets hit, as British, US and French forces continued to pound the regime's air defences. Meanwhile, a difference of opinion has emerged at home as to whether Colonel Gaddafi himself is a target for coalition forces. In a moment, we'll go round the key British bases involved. But first, James Hurst reports on the latest developments.
Late last night, tornadoes left RAF Marham armed with missiles to strike at Libyan military installations. But on the second night of Operation Ellamy, after a 3,000-mile journey, they returned still carrying those missiles. The MOD says their mission was aborted in the latter stages after it says it learned of civilians in the target area.
This clearly demonstrates that we take all measures possible to reduce the chances of harming innocent civilians.
The Libyan government disputes that. This airstrike on Colonel Gaddafi's own compound in Tripoli last night destroyed a building which the coalition says was a command and control facility. The Gaddafi government says the strike missed civilians by just 50 metres.
They know from the media that hundreds of civilians are here in this place to protect it as a voluntary human shield.
The mission began on Saturday when French planes opened fire on Colonel Gaddafi's tanks on the road to the rebel stronghold of Benghazi. The strikes have not only come from the air but also the sea. This Tomahawk missile fired from a US ship. Others like it have come from a British submarine, HMS Triumph.
We are satisfied that our attacks and those of our partners have been highly effective in degrading the Libyan air defences and command and control capability, as part of our setting the conditions to enforce the no-fly zone as required by UNSCR 1973.
The Air Officer Commanding 2 Group has told reporters here at the Ministry of Defence that the RAF will have a more forward presence and more substantive commitment today. The Tornadoes, currently operating out of RAF Marham, he said would soon move to a base in southern Italy, but he didn't give any further detail. The Naval Staff's Captain of Operations has indicated a long-term presence for British surface ships in the area. He said to enforce an arms embargo against the Gaddafi regime. At the moment, HMS Westminster and HMS Cumberland are in the seas off Libya, along with a Trafalgar-class submarine that is launching missile strikes against Libyan command and control sites. But all day, one political question has dogged this military mission. There have been mixed messages from politicians, with some suggesting Colonel Gaddafi could legitimately be a target. When Britain's top military man was asked this morning if the Libyan leader was indeed a target, he was clear.
No, absolutely not. It's not allowed under the UN resolution, and it's not something I want to discuss any further.
Targets must be fully consistent with the UN Security Council resolution. We therefore choose our targets to stop attacks on civilians and to implement the no-fly zone. But we should not give a running commentary on targeting, and I don't propose to say any more on the subject than that.
So far, Britain, France and the US have taken part in the operation. They say other countries, including Canada, Qatar and Belgium, are poised to join. All world politicians seem clear on the importance of a broad coalition, so this doesn't become another Iraq. James Hurst, Forces News, Westminster.